The original Senko equals a bait that casts like a bullet with an enticing action that is legendary for its ease of use and effectiveness. The only wrong way to fish a Senko is not to fish with the original Senko by Yamamoto.
What's up, everybody? Jack Dice.
Hello, everybody.
And Crispin Pally here on behalf of GSM Outdoors. This is I'm trying to get it where we're like straight. It looks like I'm sitting in your lap. So we are actually on the road working a show, and we've got a lot of exciting stuff happening right now.
Yeah,
across all four of our brands, and we wanted to take some time tonight. We're doing this live event on Yamamoto right now, and then we're going to follow that up with pretty much the same thing after this on the Buckeye side. And we're going to talk tonight about the new additions to our team.
Yeah, so it's been really exciting for us, especially for me. I'm new to the whole GSM team, to like watch a pro staff come together, and just the things that we value here at GSM. We wanted to have our guys have those same values, and so we're really excited about the team we've put together, because we believe each of them brings something different to the table, but they all work together in helping us build our brands and build products that will help you guys catch more fish. So this is going to be pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah,
at least for us.
Yeah, it's super exciting for us, because it's like your family's growing. And one of the things I'd like to add is we've got a phenomenal team in place at Yamamoto to begin with that we inherited. And the guys that we're adding here they're guys that, like Jack said, kind of match up with our culture. They have really strong attributes, if I could say it right, that they bring to the table. And what, from a manufacturer standpoint, one of the things that we look for in a team member, I call it family. Like I tell every one of these people, welcome to the family, right? And one of the things that we really look for is character, because these people are basically representing us, right? Everywhere they go with our name, our logo on their truck, boat, jersey, just their association with our brands. You want really high character people. We also want people who are engaged in the business of our family, of our team. That's correspondence. That's certainly in design and concept. One of the things that I've always thought was insane is how so many brands in this industry, and I'm not calling anybody out, this is just a blanket statement, they hire these guys who have all this knowledge, all this experience, and then they just kind of use their face and they don't really use their brain.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Oh, absolutely. And I think at least the flip side of that is what we've got to do,
right,
which is talk to all of them and continue to work with the people that we're both adding on, and the ones we've already had, to actually, because that's why they're on our team, is because they can catch fish better than you and I can.
Sure. They're experts.
They're experts in the field. So that's what we need to draw on when we're building new products, building new colors, building new everything.
Yeah.
And so when that part of it has been really exciting for me, because I've been a fan of these guys for so long, that finally get to work on the inside with them to actually see how their brain works when they say, no, you need to tweak a bait like this. No, the hook needs to be like that. And the light bulb goes off for me of like, wow. I've had some moments in these conversations with these guys going, they really are the best in the world because of what they know about every aspect of fishing.
It's a deeper level of knowledge, right? Like I know a lot of really good fishermen, but there's a lot of guys out here that are the kind of people that we're talking about here that honestly, you can just tear down a bait or build a bait using their knowledge and it'll be right. So without further ado, let's jump in here and talk about the new additions to Yamamoto for 2023. Once again, I want to completely pay homage and respect to the existing team members. They helped build this brand. How did you get a 15-inch MacBook and I got a 13-inch MacBook, Jack?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, just sorry. But the existing team members, I'm not even going to try to name them because I'd skip somebody and feel terrible. But we've got what I would consider one of the best stables of pros in the country with the Yamamoto brand. And, it was the first brand that GSM acquired when getting into the fishing space, and just a foundational brand in fishing. I've always considered it, even when I worked for a competitor, a premium, ultra premium soft plastic line.
Mhm.
I think that that's how it's received throughout the fishing world. And a lot of that is due to the existing team members, the guys that helped build it to where it's at today. And we still work with day in and day out. But tonight is about New Year, new additions, right? So next year, these guys will get skipped over too, and we bring in some new folks. But let's start out. I'll just introduce the first guy. The first guy is Blake Hall. He's from Rogersville, Alabama. Lives, guides on Gunnersville, Wheeler, Pickwick. Fishes the pro circuit. What was the pro circuit?
Yeah, what is now the Invitationals.
Right.
But I think what's impressive about Blake is, to my knowledge, he only fished 1 year of the Toyota Series to jump straight into the pro circuit, which is pro level competition, and then did well, qualified for the title his first year out, which is really impressive for a rookie against that field of anglers.
Yeah, that level of competition. And the thing about Blake's just a phenomenal dude that I'm getting to know better and better all the time, but I really enjoy, dealing with, and spends a ton of time on the water. I think I've been, follow all these guys obviously on social media and kind of keep up with what they're doing, but he's been spending a lot of time down in Florida, guiding down there. The guy guides in Falcon. Like, he's just, if there's big bass there, Blake Hall's there, right?
Yeah, so hook me up, Blake Hall, if you're watching. For product development, I would be happy to go anywhere that you are.
Yeah, so he goes where they're big ones. So we're going to move on. The next new addition to Yamamoto is a really good friend of mine. He's a guy that lives kind of down the road from me there in Tennessee. And his name's Brandon Perkins. And let me see what I got for Brandon here. So Brandon is 41. He's a sales professional in the medical field when he's not on the water, which is like, I don't know how he does that and that, because every time I talk to him, he's on the boat or at a softball tournament with his daughters. His wife, Tisha, and his two little girls, Lakin and Lola. They live in Counce, Tennessee on Pickwick. Got a full-time job, competes, coaches multiple ball teams. Where you may know Brandon's name from, if you're not local, is Brandon won the NPFL on Pickwick in 2021. He was the runner-up to AOY that same season. And not to take anything away from the winner, but I talked to him maybe the day after that event, and he had a breakdown that arguably cost.
I do remember reading that.
Yeah.
In the NPFL.
Yeah, pretty gut-wrenching deal. But he made the guy's just coming second in a Costa Championship. Just a really good dude. He's the kind of guy he's really fun to be around. He's always got you laughing. He's got a really good sense of humor. Ask him what his favorite Yamamoto lure is, and surprise, surprise, it's a Senko, if you can believe that. But he's really jacked to get on board and start pouring in to, what we're doing here. So, guys, welcome Brandon to the team. And then next up, who we got? Clark Ream.
Clark Ream. He's been around the block a few times in the fishing industry.
Man, that makes him sound really old.
I'm sorry, Clark.
I think Clark and I are maybe about the same age. But Clark lives in Elm Grove, Louisiana. His wife is Anna. His son, 12-year-old son, is Ash. And when he is not fishing tournaments, he guides like crazy. Guy's always on the water. Talked to him today. He was just getting off the water. Clark is one of those dudes that when he's not fishing a tournament, he's still fishing, And the cool thing about Clark that I really enjoy is his spin on social media content. Mm-hmm. He goes about it a little different than most guys. I've known Clark for probably 20 years back in my boat business days. But he fished the Elite Series from 08 through 13, fished the FLW Tour and the MLF Pro Circuit from 14 through 22. What is that?
And you'll be fishing all 9 opens in it looks like for next year, which this year they're calling it the EQ.
Okay.
Elite
Oh, gotcha.
qualifier, so
Gotcha.
That's what he meant by
Sure. Understood. So he's fishing all 9 opens. He's made the Classic twice. He's made the Forest Wood Cup or the MLF title qualifier 4 times. And he also has a cool deal called Elite Angler Academy. Clark's just a neat dude. He goes about being a professional angler a little bit different than most people do. It's not all about tournament fishing with Clark. He's very well rounded. I've talked baits with this guy as long as I've known him. He's got a really brilliant mind for that stuff. He put in the note that he made that a 5-inch green pumpkin Senko literally equals cash. So I love to hear that. Clark, welcome aboard, man. We're jacked to have you part of the team. And there's a bunch of these guys showing up in the comments. I see my main man Ty Owl in there throwing the yee up from Arizona or wherever Ty is today. There's Delaney, one of our staple guys from out west. And then BP, Brandon Perkins. So, man, you can ask these guys questions in the chat. That's what we're here for, to introduce these guys and make them kind of available to you. Who do we have next, Jack?
Next up, we have a guy who needs no introduction in the last few years, who's been catching them on a tear from Tennessee. We got David Mullins is joining Yamamoto for 2023.
A good old Vol fan from East Tennessee.
Yeah, you always need your allies, your Vol allies.
Yeah, I need some people in my corner, but no joke. Mullins is a hammer. Mullins is an East Tennessee guy, and I don't know how many of you folks have fished in East Tennessee, but there's just a ton of different types of water over there, and David's really good on all of them. We've got David on with Yamamoto this year, and David can certainly catch him slinging a big worm around. I'm excited to work with him on a big worm project. He can use his sonar and drop shot and catch him on forward facing sonar with the best of them, but he can flip, he can crank, like very versatile.
Well, I think that shows in the last few years. It was only a couple of years ago. He was right there, or just a few points back. He might have even been leading going into the last event, Angler of the Year. Yeah. He finished second, I believe, to Clark Wendlandt in 2020. Yeah, so to do that, you have to be versatile.
Yeah, you can't be a one-trick pony and be that high in AOY. And he's consistently finished high in the AOY the last several years on the Elite Series. It's his 10th year on the Elite Series. Man, Mullins is getting old too. I guarantee you that right now, he is. It's dark, so he's not duck hunting, but he's thinking about duck hunting, reading about duck hunting, talking about duck hunting. He's getting ready to go duck hunting. Mullins and I also have a bond over that. Favorite Yamamoto bait? I'll give you 2 guesses.
2 guesses.
Yep. First one doesn't count.
Oh, really? Well, I'm still going to go Senko.
Yeah, and Senko it is.
So, I also just read it right off.
Well,
I might have cheated. That's also how I got this job.
You still don't tell me that. You still would have gotten it right. But he says his favorite technique is cranking, and bro, they're not matching outfits. I don't know who typed that under there. Like, look,
it was an accident, I promise.
Yeah. So I grabbed the Buckeye hoodie and threw it on, and my favorite.
I would like to say I was dressed first. That's all I can say.
All right, little Jack. So here we go. He lives on Douglas and Cherokee, and man, Mullins. If you keep up with pro bass fishing, you know who Mullins is. You also know who the next guy is. This one, I don't know if he's let the cat out. Some of these guys have kind of leaked some of this stuff out already, but I don't know if he has or not. And I'm not great at.
I'm pretty sure he's let the cat out.
Okay.
He snuck some things out.
I feel like that may be the case. But tell us who our next new addition to the Yamamoto family is.
So, Yamamoto has a lot of roots out in the West Coast.
Sure.
So it really was a natural fit to bring on another West Coast hammer who got to start out there, and that's Fred Rumbanis.
Oh, boom, boom.
Boom, boom. And he's been around the block a few times. Like, he's done everything you can in pro fishing. He's won national events. He's fished the Elite Series. He's fished the BPT Bass Pro Tour.
The World Championship.
Yeah.
He's got that. I mean, I knew it, but he's got it in there, like 5 gold medals and 1 silver medal in the Bass World Championship.
Yeah, I fished in those and got dead last. One time I did.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
So
that's why you're on the team and not on the pro team.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, Fred is a super cool guy. He's just a contagious dude to talk to. Man, I've enjoyed conversations I've had with him. getting to know him better all the time. Lives in Arkansas now. What's he doing this year? 2023.
He's
Will
doing
compete.
the Bass Pro Tour, I believe.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so he's been there the last few years, and he's been pretty consistent, making a couple red crests, which is, again, that field is super stacked.
Absolutely.
So that's impressive to do. But he's done that his whole career. It's just he's
Sure.
consistent and he makes cuts, which leads to championships.
Absolutely. And, not to overlook this, he's got 2 wins in the Elite Series, 1 win with FLW, 1 win with PAA, and a member of the Century Club, which is no small feat.
Yeah, I believe that was Amistad. I've watched all the
I
old
think you're right.
Bassmaster ones.
I
And I
think
remember
you're
him
right.
slinging this hot dog sized swim bait out on Amistad, and it was pretty fun to watch. So
That's awesome.
he's known for that, and we hope to bring that expertise in knowing what it takes to trick giant bass. He's got that to bring to Yamamoto.
That's right. And Fred has also got tons of lure ideas that he's bringing to the table. So, and I just want to revisit that one more time. All of these guys bring their own perspective, their own knowledge base, their own skill set, their own individual personality in the lure design. And we're not just paying to put our logo on their jersey, truck, and boat. We're getting access to like the mad scientists, like the peek behind the curtain stuff. And we're going to turn that into baits that help you catch fish. So let's go to our next new Yamamoto team member. I'll introduce this guy. He is a longtime friend of mine, very influential in my life from a faith standpoint. This guy's just, if you've met him, you know exactly, you know exactly what I'm about to say, but it's about the nicest human I've ever met in my lifetime. But that is none other than James Niggemeyer. James and I worked together for years at my previous stop in my career at Strike King. And James was a valuable asset over there. And, family's family, and he ends up with me over here too. So James is family, and I consider him and Sandy and their kids as much. James, actually, kind of a funny story. I drew James in an Elite Series event the last year they had co-anglers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure
I
did.
didn't know that.
On my home lake. I think I finished 3rd or 5th out of the back of the boat, but we had a ball. Like, I fished with him, filmed several TV shows with him. And, James, I'll read you read his bio. I'm tired of hearing me read.
All right. James has been a professional angler since 2007, and he's from Van, Texas, and he's competed at the tour levels with Bass, MLF, and FLW. After winning the Bassmaster Southern Division Tour Angler of the Year in 2006, Niggemeyer joined the Bassmaster Elite Series, where he focused through the 2017 season, and then he began competing on what was the FLW Tour and then the Pro Circuit in 2018. In his career, Niggemeyer has competed in 212 professional events on the Bassmaster and MLF Big Five circuits. Along the way, he has claimed 4 victories, 19 top 10s, qualified for 3 classics, and 2 FLW Cup championships. And in 2018, he finished in 2nd place, and I remember that tournament.
Yeah.
He's throwing a top water on Washita, I believe. He has a career earnings of $1.197, very specific, $1 million. Along with his on-the-water attributes, Niggemeyer is a skilled promoter. He makes regular appearances for his sponsors at the Spring Fishing Classic at Bass Pro and Cabela's, and is a fixture of the Meet the Pro Day events at local churches and towns where this tour schedule takes them. Niggemeyer has been a regular guest on numerous television shows such as Pro Team Journal and Fish Hard, and works hard to promote his partners in print and internet publications across the country. Niggemeyer has been married to his wife Sandy for 18 years, and the couple have 2 children, a son Daniel and a daughter Abigail. And they actively attend their church and enjoy spending as much time together as possible in between his professional events. Niggemeyer and his son Daniel fish and hunt in their home state, and recently earned their first win together in an afternoon event.
Yeah, James is like the picture of a family man, and just a great role model, great friend, and a great addition to our team. The guy guides in his spare time whenever little of that he has on fork, and can really catch them. So if you want to go catch a giant, we got a few of those guys on our staff, James being one of them. And we're really glad to have James. He and I have worked together on some projects in the past, and look forward to doing that again in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Again, someone who matches our values here at the GSM Fishing Team.
Yep. Family is about culture. And that's what we're building here. And James is a perfect example of that. So the next person I want to move on to is, man, this cat's really become a buddy of mine, and I've enjoyed spending time with him. I've known his dad longer than I've known him. I've known about him through his dad, but Laker Howell. Can you guess who his dad is?
Yeah, Bassmaster Classic champion, Randy Howell.
Randy Howell. This is Laker. This is his boy. And the thing about Laker, man, he's been on his dad's hip pocket since he was, knee high to a June bug, as they say in West Tennessee. And kid's a stick. I mean, he can catch them. He can really catch them. And he's a guy that I hear from a lot. But, man, you got to check this bait out, or, man, you got to make this or whatever. Tell us a little bit about Laker.
So Laker, I followed Laker because I did the collegiate fishing deal. So I kept up with a lot of, Laker didn't do the college fishing deal, but he's another young gun. You start to hear about guys who catch them at a young age. And Laker is one of those people. Like,
right.
He's just like, I followed the Toyota series. I'm as big of a fan of fishing as anybody. And his name is one that for his age is like, man, Laker, he's catching. Man, he's catching. Like, you just pull up the standings at every Toyota series event and he's always up there. He's always cashing checks. And that's why he's fishing the invitationals. He qualified to fish alongside his dad at the highest level. So that's really a cool story.
That's super cool. Because and keep an eye on Laker. He's one of those dudes that he's going to show out. And I mean, he's just, man, full of energy. He's so excited, but he's so also like calm and composed. It's like he's been there forever because he's been right there by his dad forever.
But
no offense to calling you old, Randy.
Yeah, but that's the thing is talking with Randy, even when we got to fish with him on Gunnersville not that long ago, hearing him talk, like Laker is also, yes, he's been raised under an amazing bass fisherman in Randy, but he's also his own angler. Like the two bounce off each other and learn.
Yeah, the day you and I were fishing with Randy, we were in the boat with Randy, like Laker was texting him, like, go here, check this, go try this, go, if they're not doing this, do this. And you can tell Randy has the utmost respect for his son's knowledge and ability, right?
Yes, that really showed through to me that he was like, Laker knows what he's doing. Laker will tell us where to go.
Yeah, sure.
So they each have their own strengths, and Laker certainly has his when it comes to knowing how to catch bass.
That's a fact. Tell us who we got next.
So next up, we've got another angler who has really climbed the ranks recently in pro fishing, and that is Matt Becker.
Oh yeah,
from PA.
If you follow fishing, you've heard Matt Becker's name. Matt Becker has, he's just one of those dudes. I feel like every time I click on standings or news, like he's right there, right?
Yeah, he's been knocking on the door for a long time. He's put in the work. Like he's the one someone who's climbed the ladder. I remember he won a Toyota Series event on the Thousand Islands. I believe he was throwing a shad-shaped worm at the time when I remember reading the article. And since then he's fished what was the tour, what is the pro circuit, and then now he's worked all the way through all the years of the gauntlet. He's finally on the Bass Pro Tour, the very tip of the top for Major League Fishing. So that's a major accomplishment. So it's super cool that this is when we get to bring him on, is when he's made it to the very top.
Right. Yeah. He won a Toyota Series Angler of the Year. I mean, he's done some stuff. He's been there and done that. And we get to partner with him for his rookie season on the BPT, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And another cool thing that Jack mentioned about Matt is, as long as I've known about Matt, without any type of deal with Yamamoto, like I knew he threw Yamamoto stuff, right? Like he's a believer in the brand and the product.
Absolutely.
So we really look forward to what Matt's going to do in 23, how he's going to represent our brand and what he's going to bring to the table in terms of his ideas and ingenuity and stuff, right? So
yeah. And Matt's someone that even before he came to the Yamamoto team, I heard all good things about Matt. That just people who knew him said he's a good dude, he's as real as they come, and he knows how to catch them. So I'm really happy to have him.
And that's whether I should say this live or not, I'm going to. I'm used to sticking my foot in my mouth, but like we're not bringing anybody on our team and into our family and into the inner circle that is not a good dude. We're just not doing. Culture is something that you cultivate and you cherish and you protect. And every name that we're mentioning here falls into that culture, that persona that we look for and we cherish. So with that being said, let's roll to the next guy. This is a guy that, man, I know I feel like I've said this 3 or 4 times, but that's a pretty good thing to repeat. If you've kept up with bass fishing, you'll recognize this name. And I can't emphasize the culture part of it enough. I do want to tell a little story that he's never heard before. So if he's on here, I apologize, Nick LeBrun, in advance. But I was fishing the open a couple years ago somewhere, and I pulled back. I had a really, really bad day, which is kind of par for the course. I work too much and don't fish enough. But I was going back to meet my family to go to dinner that night, and I'd been parking like in the same place every day. And I pulled in there, and there was some cones in there that said Nick LeBrun on them, and I moved them. So I stole Nick LeBrun's parking spot. Sorry about that, dog. But welcome to Yamamoto, Nick LeBrun. Man, what a nice guy. The first actual conversation I've ever had with him was at ICAST this year. I've had countless people over the last year or so go, man, you need to meet Nick LeBrun. You guys are going to hit it off. And, you hear that going through life. He's all good, bro. So he is on here. Sorry, bub. I put him in the spot next to me. It's not like I threw him over the fence or something. But I think it was at Pickwick, if I recall, maybe at the State Park Lodge. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. But I've had just countless people. Man, you need to meet Nick. You need to meet Nick. You guys are going to hit it off. Wes Higgins being one of those, who's our partner in crime that's not with us at the moment. Nick's been with Bill Lewis for a while. Wes speaks just incredibly high of Nick and his character and his work ethic and just his partnership. And I got to meet Nick at ICAST this year, and dude, it took me about 45 seconds to go, yeah, he's the dude, And so we went and begged Nick, like, man, I don't know what it's going to take, but you're like us, we're like you, we're peas in a pod. What Forrest Gump say, carrots and potatoes or something like that.
You know me, I don't watch movies.
Yeah, that's right. Little known fact, Jack Dice has not seen very many movies in his life. I made him
movies that this guy's seen.
No good movies.
Okay,
I made him watch Tombstone with me one night, and how was it?
It was okay. It was very good.
Phenomenal.
It was very good.
It's a top 5 all-time movie. So anyway, we're training Jack up in the ways. But Nick is a Christian. He's a husband to Jolene, a father to Sadie, Jackson, and Jace. And he is a professional bass angler based out of Bossier City, Louisiana, and calls Caddo Lake his home water. Not a bad place to call home.
No.
His career was launched after winning the BFL All-American on Cross Lake. He's competed in the Bassmaster Classic, and after winning, and in 2022, sorry, I can't read, he won back-to-back events on the MLF Pro Circuit, that's like doesn't happen.
Yeah, like Nick is someone to me has been very impressive. I started following him from that All-American win because I keep up with the All-American specifically. It's always interesting to see where those anglers go because it's such a different path.
Right.
And so Nick's he's worked his way through different levels and fished the different tours. But the last few years, it just seems like every time it's like, oh, wow, Nick did well in that event. Oh, man, Nick won that event. Oh, man, he won that. And then it was like, oh, he won the Pro Circuit. That's really cool. Next, 2 weeks later, he's winning again.
Oh, look, he won again.
He won again.
Yeah.
So,
one of the things we ask, I'm just going to give you a little insider info. We ask each of these guys to give us a bio, right? Because we want you to know what they want you to know. And ultimately, you're going to know, people's character speaks for itself. But he loves to power fish, such as ripping a rattle trap around grass. Good old Bill Lewis guy. In the winter months, and loves to fish for northern smallmouth. The main message of LeBrun's fishing is this: trophies, fame, and money doesn't last. Sorry, throw a little Tennessee at you. But a relationship with Jesus Christ lasts forever. So Nick is a very faithful man, a very, very good fisherman, and just a super good dude. So we're jacked to have him on Yamamoto. We one of the things we do with all of our team members is get on the phone and go, okay, what do we have that you love and why? What do we have that you don't love and why? What do we not have that you need and why? What's in your brain that you would like to see us try and why? And man, Nick knows exactly what he wants in a bait. Like, I was super impressed. I've done this for 20 years now. And Nick his responses to all those questions were just a little bit different than everybody else's. Not better, not worse, just a little different. And that really stood out to me after doing this as long as I have.
And that's again why it's so important that we have this diversity in our team.
Absolutely.
Of guys from all over, is because
Sure.
Nick gives us something that we don't get from other guys.
Sure.
And every guy we have on our team brings that one little something that makes it a difference, that we believe that we can bring all together
100%.
and building products that are truly different.
100%. So tell me a little bit about our next new Team Yamamoto.
So brand new for this year, we're bringing on Yamamoto's team, we're bringing Taylor Watkins. Now, I don't know Taylor personally, but I have been following his career on the NPFL. You know, the NPFL is new in the world of fishing, but I know that some of the guys on there's guys who can catch him, and Taylor has proven himself to be one of them. He's won twice in 2022 at that stage, and that's only 6 events. So that's a third of the events
won
in the
a
year.
third of the events in one season.
Yeah, that's insane. And what's great, I remember I was fishing at a tournament, and I remember watching some of the weigh-ins, and then I believe it was the event on Cumberland that he won, and it was a one-day. They had bad weather, and things got blown out, so like really tough conditions where guys were struggling to get a bite. I remember watching the live feed, like guys who did well cash checks in that event only caught like 1 or 2 fish, and he blew it out, had over 20 pounds. I think he won by like 5 or 10 pounds, and it was only a one-day event, you know? So clearly has the chops for what it takes to separate himself from the competition. And then he did it again. You know, he proved that it's not just luck. He can do it again and again. So having someone with that skill set on the Yamamoto team, it's always valuable. You always want people on your team that you're like, yeah, they can catch it.
Yeah, and this guy can catch them. And another, you know, once again, to sound like a broken record, every person on here, it may be except for the ones that I just have like a really intimate relationship with. I always go to get like the reference, right? Like you would, if you were going to hire somebody to do a job, if you were going to bring somebody into your, you know, your covenant, right? You'd want to know everything there is to know. If there's something bad, you want to know it. You might not hold it against them, but you want to know about it.
Yeah.
Everybody I talk to says Taylor Watkins is the dude. Like, just great guy. You get the very same response from everybody that knows Taylor Watkins, and that doesn't happen by accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Taylor can catch them. Taylor's a great guy. Let me tell you a little bit about Taylor's bio. Started hunting and fishing at a very young age. It is like his thing, right? It's his passion. It's his drive. Grew up fishing northern Alabama lakes in the Tennessee River. Boy, unless you're a Bama fan, we'll work through that. Been fishing competitively since his early teens, but it wasn't until his early 20s that he really got serious about becoming a professional angler. Started fishing the TBF locally, made his way to the Nationals, and then went to the Costa Series. Did decent there, but qualified for the championship in 2021. That was 2020. I was going to say it was on Cumberland too. I fished one of those up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, didn't do very good. But he joined the NPFL in, I believe, 2021 also, the inaugural season. Cashed a check in every event and capped off the season with a win at Grand Lake.
I'm selling him short. He won 3, won 2 last year. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Taylor. You win so much, I can't keep it all
Right.
straight.
And then in where were we? In 2022 in the NPFL, won the opener at Cumberland and finished the season with another win at Toho. I mean, 2 grossly different scenarios, right?
Yeah, as opposite as it can get.
Absolutely. Finished second in the AOI points. I mean, you could probably have skipped the rest of the events and came in second in AOI points if you won 2 of them. But says he's very thankful to have a supporting wife, family, and friends that encourage him to follow his dream. And we're glad that we got a ha-ha out of Taylor. I hope I didn't say something bad. The not fishing the rest of them wasn't a slur. It was actually a compliment. But, here's the deal. You add this group of guys to the group that we've already got, and I'll put them against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this pro staff, character, ability, accomplishments, expertise against anybody's out there. And not that we do that, but if we did, we would win. But yeah, Team Yamamoto is just killing it right now. And, one of the things that's really exciting about the current state of affairs at Yamamoto and even looking into the future is funneling all of this into a bait, into a package, onto a peg, and into your boat, right? And you can throw money at anybody. You can hire as many people as you want to if you've got enough money, but it doesn't matter if it ultimately is not helping people be more successful with your product on the water. So, I've been waiting. I've obviously known about these guys as they've come on board for quite some time, and we, wanted to wait till turn the page on the calendar to a new year to introduce them. And when we get off of this live, Facebook Live, we're going to jump over to the Buckeye page. Pete, I appreciate hearing you say that. Old Pete Pons, great to have a company that listens to its pro staff. And Pete's one of those dudes I spend hours on the phone with talking to. But just another example of that. But when we get off of here, we're going to go over to the Buckeye. I'm not going to change clothes. So
I ain't either. I'm backing down.
But with that being said, we've got some pretty awesome guys coming on to the Buckeye staff as well. But this hour is about Yamamoto, and we're about a little over halfway through the hour. We want to take this opportunity to. I never want to not do this. I can't get this thing where I feel like it's straight. There's a bunch of these guys that we're talking about are logged in here. So man, feel free to ask questions. I tell you what, we're going to give it about 10, 15 more minutes, and Jack and I will also answer any questions. I've seen a few pop up that I hadn't been able to get to because we were, dedicated to kind of, launching these guys into our team and spending the effort and energy on that. But, at this point in time, we'll give it 10 or 15 minutes, let you ask these guys any questions you want. You can ask us almost any question you want. I got some people that are logged on here that I wouldn't just give it. Just
don't give them free reign.
Yeah, no free reign here. But any more colors coming, Tyler Pignato, any more colors coming out in the older models like the Swim Cinco? I would tell you that we will always look at what makes sense for each style, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that, Tyler, I'm sorry, I hope that's not a generic answer because it kind of sounded generic when I said it. But what I really mean by that is, I've been in the bait business for a long time now, and I have to tell somebody this once a week. Some of my favorite products from all manufacturers just don't sell well, right? Just a fact. Probably 2 or 3 of my favorite baits ever never sold well. I bought up every one I could ever find because I believe in them. They work for me. So, I say all that to say, Tyler, that if sales justify it, we will certainly add relevant, new, hot colors into our product line and existing products. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or did I just ramble?
No, I think because that's what we did this last year. So, for example, one of the hot colors across the board, again, talking to our pros, again, why adding to our staff is so important, right? And using and leaning on the experience of our existing Yamamoto staff, knowing what colors that we come, not only what colors to come out with, but then what do we do with them? Not just, okay, here's a bunch of colors. Right. Where should they go? Right. And so we came out with a number of colors at ICAST last year. And a lot of those, almost all of them, went into different various SKUs of older models. Now, it wasn't across the board, every color went into every old model. But again, ask our pro staff, hey, where's this fire crawl really needed? What are we missing? Okay, maybe it's great in a craw bait like our new Yama crawl, but what in the old lineup do guys have guys come back and say, hey, that double tail grub, that's still a killer on a jig and you need a red. Yeah, there's a time to play. So it's that kind of input from both our anglers and from you guys. So like the things that we read in comments, those matter to us. The messages you send to us, if you really want to push for something, let us know, because we always want to have open ears to not to not just shut out and just say, we're going to do it our way, because that's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about helping you guys catch more fish.
Yeah, and we have weekly meetings where we discuss, these kind of things, and we value your input, right? Man, we don't act like we know it all. We don't know it all, quite honestly, and we really value your input, and we take it all into consideration. You just have to understand that it all doesn't make sense from a business standpoint either, right? I'm gonna keep rolling here. Hard baits, man. Tim Blackman asked the question: Topwater Splash coming back in hard baits. I know that there was a series of Yamamoto hard baits quite some time back. I'm going to be honest with you. We've got a hard bait brand in Bill Lewis, and if I'm going to put focus on developing new hard baits, it's going to be in our existing hard bait brand. Mm-hmm. I think Yamamoto is the world's best at creating premium soft plastics, and that's where we're going to stay. We're going to build premium soft plastics. So, with that being said, I wouldn't look for hard baits, Tim. Where's the next one? I saw somebody. Why did you 6-inch Senko and black width? I don't really know. Mike Durback. Mike, I can't really understand what you ask. I'm sorry. And I am from Tennessee, so I'm not totally intuitive. But let me say this, and I get asked all the time. Every day I get a message. Why did you cut this? Okay, there we go. I got you, bub. I'm sorry about that. Why was the 6-inch black canceled? So first off, we've never killed one color of Senko since we've owned the brand. It's been over a year now. Mm-hmm. We've never killed, canceled, deleted, whatever, one color of Senko. Mm-hmm. With that being said, it was done before us. And the only reason we would do away with the color is that you can't justify building it based on the number of sales that we show. Yeah. We have excellent data. We have excellent metrics. We have a formula that we go, okay, we've got to build X amount to justify, right? Like throwing this out there, I won't even name a brand, but a vehicle manufacturer comes out with a new car, they project they're going to sell X amount of them, and they only sell half of that. Well, they're not going to carry that car in the series next year, right? Like you're going to devote that time and so forth, that because quite honestly, it takes up space in our warehouse. It takes up space in a catalog. It takes up space on our website. And if it's not quote unquote paying the rent, then it can't live here anymore, right?
I mean, yeah, long term, if we indulged every single product that didn't sell, then we wouldn't have the ability to make the products that everybody wants.
83,612 colors is what we would have if we did them all. But man, look, Mike, I promise you, it's not. We didn't kill it. Obviously, sales killed it. And look, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm there again. Probably shouldn't do this. I'll pay the price for it at some point in time. Any stocking Yamamoto dealer can get anything made they want with a purchase of 750 bags. So here's what I would tell you. 750 bags is a lot. However, over the course of your lifetime, or you and your fishing partner, or you and your bass club, right? Like I've seen that done before. So it may not make sense, but I want to at least let you know the option exists. Okay. Let me see. Will there ever be a color variety pack? Maybe. Okay. Next question. Maybe. George, larger single tail grub still going to be available. What do we have now?
I believe we have still available up to a 5-inch.
Yeah.
I know back in the day, there were some runs of some really 8-inch grubs. I was actually talking to one of our reps today about that. Those again, it's one of those things where the numbers just weren't there, and it's more of a custom run thing. But that's the cool thing is that that was a super cool thing for me getting to visit the Yamamoto plant, is seeing the molds are still there. Yeah. That if the opportunity presents itself that we can do a special run, that's always going to be an option.
Yeah, and once again, guys, I mean, I don't want to just sound like a broken record, but it's got to pay the rent, right? Like it just is. It's a fact of life. There again, I mean this, but I have literally 2 or 3 little top secret sacred baits in my arsenal that they don't make them anymore. And one of them I'm running super low on, and they don't make them anymore. And I know why they don't make them, because they didn't sell very well. I obviously figured out how to employ them in a way that works for me, but apparently not enough people did. Right. So let me, yeah, George, I appreciate that, man. We're going to shoot you straight, bud. I promise you that. Where are we at here? Hula grubs are a sleeper bait. Don't get talked about much anymore these days. Absolutely. And I believe that kind of stuff will come back around at some point.
Everything that's old becomes new, and vice versa.
For sure. You're not old enough to say that yet. But with that being said, I saw Kim Stricker with Hook and Look on here, and Kim did. There he is. They will for Maine. I knew Kim Stricker would jump all over that hula grub, but he's old, and it's an old school deal. So there you go, Tyler. You piqued the interest of the old guys.
Well, I will admit, I did pull it out for the first, like doing some video work over the last year. I pulled it out, and I've never really thrown a hula grub much, to be honest, because I'm like, yeah, it's an old school finesse technique. And every time I pulled it out, I instantly went to catch them. So let's just say, if it doesn't leave, as long as it doesn't leave this chat, it's not a bad deal.
Yeah, and so I mean, for what it's worth, means nothing to anybody other than sentimentally to me. The first ever big smallmouth I ever caught, I caught on a Yamamoto hula grub.
Really?
Yep. I was probably 12 or 13. I mean, it's going back a ways, but I had it on a Carolina rig.
Really?
Yeah. And didn't even really know what I was doing, but I caught it, and I got it in the boat, and I was like, what is this weird looking fish?
Really?
Yeah,
You didn't know what it was?
No, man. Back then, I mean, I fished grass on Kentucky Lake all the time, and I just didn't catch a lot of smallmouth.
So it was on Kentucky Lake that you hooked it. How
Mhm.
big was it?
Probably 4-pounder. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, not like you catch them, but
Yeah.
pretty good. Evan Barnes, 2 1/4 or 2.5 pounder, 4-pounder, Evan, 4-pounder. So just do as you didn't stop making the colors I like using in the hula grub, dude. I promise you, William, I get it, man. I once again, I'm super frustrated. I can't get a couple baits I love. So I promise you, I get that. The Yamamoto baits got me in my only weak spot. What type of, man, it's going fast now. Hang on, I can't read that fast. What type of bait will you expand on next? Creature, shed style, etc. All of the above, maybe.
Yes, literally all of the above.
Yeah, we've introduced what, 7
in the last year.
7 new baits in the last year. And I would dare say that's as many as any soft plastic brand standalone has come out with in the last year. And I think you're going to see that that's kind of our MO. We really believe in being really forward thinking. And I want to throw this out there. I'm going to say that I said it on the Yamacraw live I did with Cody. Sometimes when you've got a group of anglers like we've got on the Yamamoto staff, and they all come to you and go, hey, there's a bait out there that everybody throws that 6 brands make, but we don't have one. Here's what I would do to change it, to make it better. You make it.
Mm-hmm.
You just make it, because they know, and you trust them. And I would just tell you that, like, we shoot for innovation in every project.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a worm is a worm is a worm, right? Sometimes a craw is a craw is a craw. And you put your own little tweaks on it. You put the things the guys ask for. Ultimately, you believe it's as good as or better, and you bring it to market because you've got loyal fans, loyal customers, people who believe in Yamamoto, and people who make their living throwing Yamamoto, that they want it. So you bring it out. So long-winded answer. And I'm gonna keep going now. How long of a process from start to finish? Hang on, it scrolled up too fast on me. Can I go up here?
Yes, as long as you know how to scroll.
Matt Bronner, how long of a process from start to finish does it take to produce a bait? Loaded question, Matt. It depends on the bait, and it depends on how good of a job you do. Because I've literally worked on projects where the very second or third rendition is perfect and you're done. Quite honestly, the Ned Senko was kind of like that. You play with all the formulas and try to get the consistency right. You get everything you want about it right. And that one came together really easy. On the other hand, the Slinko was kind of a nightmare. The Yamacraw had 72 revisions.
Yeah. Yamacraw was the one that had a lot that I saw.
Yeah. So kind of a loaded question. Favorite way to rig the Hula Grub now? Man, it's kind of hard to beat that sucker just on a jig head, just football jig and drag that thing around. It's not like a football jig, right? It does some different stuff and they do bite it. So let me see where we're at on time. We got 10 minutes. Let's keep going. This is fun. Can we get a Yamato? My buddy Todd, northern
He's a
bass
little
fisher.
biased towards tubes in the neck of the woods.
Yeah, for sure he is. Man, I'll tell you, we talk about it. It's a little more complicated process. Obviously, people do it, and if they can do it, we can do it. Maybe do it better, but I wouldn't rule it out. Let's just put it at that. Here, grab a couple, Jack. I'm just reading like I'm the only one here.
Well, I got to lean so far forward. Do all sizes of the shad-shaped worm have the floater formula? That's a good question, and that's a good clarifier. Is that actually the shad-shaped worm? We came out with two different new sizes on top of the existing size, and they are different. And so you gotta catch that because it makes a difference. And that was again prototyping. So the original shad-shaped worm is built with the original staple Yamamoto formula. That's the salty formula that everyone knows and loves.
Right.
And so when we went smaller, we said we need a smaller bait. When we went to the 3-inch one, that formula still works perfect. Still gives the bait the little darting action, the subtle quiver that triggers really big fish to bite. So then we said, well, let's build a 5-inch one. But when you did that, we realized that the physics of it changed and it doesn't quite work out. Again, most guys are fishing that on a drop shot. And when you have a bait that's 5 inches long and it gets that big, that salted formula was just too heavy because it's all about naturally having that kind of neutral buoyancy like a bait fish is what the drop shot does.
Yeah, and when you move up to that size, the density of that original formula, it just goes there.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't look
But
natural.
the cool, let me throw this in there too. The new 5-inch shad shape being the only one of the 3 shad shape sizes in that formula makes it very versatile.
Yes.
Incredible bladed jig trailer, incredible scrounger head trailer. Jack, you caught them behind me one day on Gunnersville on a Carolina rig on it.
Yep. And so again, the 5-inch has the floater formula. So that's great for a Carolina rig when you're trying to just help ease that bait off the bottom, which is what a Carolina rig does best and separates it from other rigs. So this bait just really further accentuates the power of a Carolina rig. So
absolutely.
And it did that day when I caught him behind him.
So Josh Albee, Yamamoto boxes show up at my house so often I had to tell my wife I was sponsored so she didn't know I was spending all the money. We don't condone lying to your spouse, but I love it, dude.
Do we? I remember a certain Instagram
It was a joke.
It was a Instagram post I saw that seemed to condone lying of some sort.
Yeah, it was a joke, but do what you got to do, homie. We're on your team here. So you give her my number and I'll tell her that you're part of us and I'll try to keep you out of hot water. Can a person buy a custom color if they bought in mega bulk, like 500 bags? I'm serious. Dexter, even if you message me offline, I got to know what color you're that serious about. Yes. Can a person buy custom color if they bought in mega bulk? Yeah. Now here's what you got to know. We, in staying true to our relationship and partnership with our retailers, we would have to figure this out, but I'd be willing to do that for you, bud. That's who we are. We're never going to be so big that we're so stringent that we don't listen to our people. So here we go. Kenneth Grover, my main man, Kenneth Grover down in Alabama. It's exciting to see the additions to all the GSM brands. Looking forward to see what is next. Thanks, Kenneth. We're excited too, bud. I hope you can tell that. This is who we are, what we love to do, and man, we appreciate you taking note of that. Yamamoto soft plastic swim baits. Well, next question. I think the men in 750 bags. That's correct. Oh yeah, that is right.
750.
What did he ask? 500.
500. So you just gotta go
250 more.
Yeah,
Only
250.
250 more bags. Is the 30% holiday sale over? Great question. I don't know that either. I'm sorry. Will there be a 3-inch Yamamoto crawl? Absolutely. I'll just throw that out there. You can look forward to seeing that. The Yamamoto crawl will be available in a smaller size. JT Bagwell, what's up, bud? The Ned Cinco is awesome. We agree. We love it ourselves. We'll give it a couple more minutes. I see you, James Schreck, like he's hiding out under the name James. Fletch, that Yamato. I hear you, bub. Hard baits. We talked about that, David. Man, we're going to focus on hard baits and Bill Lewis and soft baits at Yamamoto. Colin Bodie, that dude's a hammer. This old Texas boy. Slinko is my new favorite Carolina rig bait down in here in East Texas. Absolutely. Favorite way to rig a Slinko. You got 5 seconds. Favorite way to rig a Slinko. I can't say that fast. Favorite way
Nico
to
rig.
Nico rig. Good one. I'm going to go on a spot remover.
Oh, the
That
bag.
thing on a mag spot remover is just dumb. Who do we contact directly to get 750 bags? Dude, just message me on Facebook. We'll get you hooked up, bub. How many baits you make a day? Don't ask me. You're asking the wrong guy. Travis Myers, that is a smallmouth catching dude right there. You need to know who he is if you don't. He is very well versed in northeastern or just smallmouth fishing in general. All right, guys, look, we're going to I can sit here and do this forever. Man, we got a lot. Evan Barnes said he'll partner up with you, man, and buy the other 250 bags, and he means it. Ron Champion, one of our guys. Cole Boyd, what's up? Got those Speed Cinco. It was awesome. Color 218. Dexter has broken the silence on what the special color is.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Champagne
You
Black
spilled it.
Flake. All right. Hey, guys. We got to go now. But look, if you want to hang out, we'd even probably answer some Yamamoto questions. But jump over to Buckeyes Facebook. We're going to go live over there in about 4 minutes. So once again, kind of a similar format. We've got some hammers that we're bringing into the family.
Yeah, and maybe a few repeats, but you would just have to come over and see.
That's
Never
right.
know.
So, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Couldn't do it without you. Love you. Appreciate you. See you soon. Join us over at Buckeye. Take care.